So hi, welcome to Binge Buddies, Toretto's shitty tuna sandwich. I got it right in the wrap-up.
Way!
It happened.
That's how it normally goes.
That's true. I don't.
At least you weren't
right,
still trying to say who, what, when we did in the shadows.
That thing just constantly fucked me up, but it was worth it for the show. Me, your host, always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt, Zombie Dog Dykes, Joel DeWitte, and Ryan Lootens.
Whoop whoop.
And I want to again go on record. I think this is the first episode I didn't forget to say Zombie Dog.
Yeah, because that is just officially my name now.
Yeah, and as well it should be. I mean, you earned it by being the zombie dog back in the Resident Evil days.
Yeah, I love how from one stupid joke that instead of having a different nickname for each episode, it's just the same nickname each time, and I have a full-on nickname, and I have a fucking patch that I've had designed by an actual graphic designer,
and it looks great.
My airsoft and stuff.
It's a solid patch. Like they did a good job.
So good.
But yeah, I love that we got Matt a permanent nickname out of Binge Buddies. It's pretty great, and Joel was here for it too. Like it wasn't like it was.
That's
kind
of my tombstone.
Nope.
If I get buried, it's gonna be Matt Zombie Dog Dykes.
I appreciate you owning it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Because it works well for you. Anyhow, let's talk about Fast and Furious. So we spent the last more than 11 weeks, because we had a couple breaks in there, talking about Fast and Furious movies. This was a franchise we're all a little sketched to get into it. I know I wanted to. Matt was like, I'm never watching these fucking things. Joel was more
and how wrong
I
was.
I won't unless someone forces me. And then Ryan
just Joel on anything. Like,
I was the gentle push, and by the gentle push, I'm like, hey, let's do it. And then I gave a gentle push for Hobbs and Shaw, and I will never hear the end of it.
No, you will not. You
really won't.
I watched 2 versions of Halloween 6, and I'm more mad at you over fucking Hobbs and Shaw. But that's fine.
Yep, I'm right there with you, Brian. Because at least Halloween 6 was about a solid 80 minutes long.
Oh yeah,
not 2.5 hours.
Right.
But I think we all ended a little bit. I think we're all glad we watched them, even if we didn't love every one of them. There's some amazing filmmaking in these things. I think we had a really good ride while going through it. I'm not hearing any great dissent there, so we're all on the same page. Fantastic.
I mean, if nothing else, out of this, like, I got to see a vault being literally driven around streets of Rio, which looks fucking awesome. And I also got like some new soundtracks that I listen to on a regular basis. When I was training to run a 5K, I had a running track, like the Vault Heist. I had that on a loop every time I was doing the run, because it was enough to pump me up to be like, yeah, fuck it. And then I get back, I'm like, feet hurt.
But it's a good song. Like there's a lot of really good shit in these movies, and that's where this ranking got really hard to kind of narrow down lists. So we have a lot of lists to get through, and we're gonna do the best we can to go as quickly as we can.
Rank like end ones are always a little bit longer anyway.
A little bit, yeah. But we don't want to keep people all day listening to Fast and Furious lists, unless that's what they want. In which case, you should
give the people what they want, and I demand 3-hour episodes. God damn it!
With 7 lists to rank between 4 of us, it could get a bit dicey.
Yeah. So let's get started with the. We're going to start at the very bottom of the list that I sent out to everybody. It would be the top of the list, I guess, which would be, we're going to start with our top 3 favorite cars. And as if you couldn't tell from the nicknames this season, I am not a car guy. I know shit about cars. So I made this list very easy for us, and I gave the qualifier. I do not need a maker model, just favorite cars that stood out. Example would be Roman's dumb orange car in Fast 8. That's not on my list, but I thought it'd be a good example. So I'll get the ball rolling. My number 3 car, because it stood out to me, and I won't forget it, because I'm like, why the fuck is this stupid car in this stupid fucking movie? And it's Cypher's DeLorean from the beginning of Fast X. I was excited to see a new DeLorean. I forgot they're even making them until I saw it in this movie. I'm like, oh yeah, that dumb idea. There it is. So the
first one was so brilliant and was so reliable.
This reliability is what it was known for. We lost Matt. No, he's back.
I have a friend who owns the original DeLorean. And it spends 90% of its time in his garage having to do something to fix it.
That sounds about right.
For those keeping track, Matt just had another stroke from last week's episode.
Yes, he sure did.
Someone should probably check on him.
All right, we got a lot of lists to get through. Let me keep talking. Number 2 is Sean's car flipping car from Shaw's car flipping car from 6. Awesome car.
I said Sean's at first.
I did say Sean
remember.
first. Yeah, I was
I
definitely.
don't remember my
Sean.
car flipping car.
Shaw, no.
Owen.
And yeah, I love that car. It's awesome. Made for great action sequences. And then my number 1 car, I'm going a little sentimental. It's the first 10-second car that Brian and Don build together, the orange one. It's an awesome car. Like, it's stuck with me forever. And it's probably my favorite thing from that movie is when he rolls up with that car and he's like, instead of 10-second car, he's like, pop the hood. Like, I love that moment so much. It just brought me joy. And yeah, so that car wins. I'm gonna keep going in the order of my screen here. That means Ryan is next.
All right, so as much as we said no honorable mentions, I don't have any, but if I did be the gold-plated car from Fast X. But the top 3 cars are the tank / rocket car from Fast X. Nice. That kind of culminates the idea of the movie that we all wanted with Uncle Jacob and Little B. Next would be number 2, so we have the same one, Owen's car flipping car from
Nice
6. I thought, just that really cool, especially how he uses it to take out all the columns where it was just everything about that car was really cool. And then last but not least, you have to go classic. This is kind of everything that started it. I'm gonna say Dom's Charger RT. It's almost in every movie. It is a staple of the franchise.
No matter how many times it gets destroyed.
Correct. Yes, he's still working on it.
That's the only reason it wasn't on my list. I'm like, just let it die.
It's buried under a mountain.
Joel, you're up.
All right. My number 3 is Han's 1997 Mazda RX-7 from Tokyo Drift. It is just a slick looking car that fits him perfectly. Just
is that the one that Sean fucks up when he's drifting, or is it the other one?
It's the other one.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it's the other one. Yeah.
See, not car guys.
Yeah. Number 2 are the flip cars.
We all like those flip cars.
They're just battle bots looking bastards. Like
Matt, you better make it all 4 of us and have that be too.
I'm gonna be the dissenting voice, unfortunately.
Yeah, that tracks.
my number 1 was the Charger. Like
nice.
For me, it just had to be. It's such a fixture for this entire thing.
You got good taste, Joel.
I wish I agreed with you. Just fucking let it die. Anyhow, Matt.
So mine's gonna be real quick. Space car, number 3. Cannon car, number 2.
Yeah.
And number 1, The Rock's big armored fucking vehicle in Fast 5.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
considered that. I did.
That is a Matt list.
It is. I just like the space car, cannon car, the Rock's big armored vehicle in Fast 5.
All right. We're moving on to music. This one apparently was very tough for a lot of people. For me, it was very easy. So I've been listening to these songs since these movies came out, and these still 5 are like on all my running playlist, on my driving playlist. I love them. So it's very easy for me. But I want to see how the rest of you struggled and continuing how we usually do. Second now goes first. Ryan, you're up.
Okay, so I had a real hard time picking between That's How We Roll, and this just brought back a lot of my college memories, but so I went with this one and not That's How We Roll, so I could be shooting myself in the foot. But the Gasolina remix that was featured in Fast X, man, it was just a good remix. Everything, it just brought back a lot of memories. Number 4 is 6 Days from Tokyo Drift. That song is it's so good. It has a very great underlying tone, and just the way they use it in the montages, perfect. 3 is going to be See You Again by Wiz Khalifa. You got to have this on your list. This is the song. It is a perfect tribute to Paul Walker's character and the send-off that they give him. If this song is not on all of your lists, anyway, moving on. Number 2 is Danza Kudrow.
Yeah.
Is that on 5 or 6? I think it's on.
That's in 5.
It's on 5. So, that's right. So 5. That song is it's synonymous with the movies it plays in later. And then last but not least, my favorite is the one I've talked about in other episodes. From part 5, We Own It. I just love that song. It's catchy. I just like it. So that's mine. That's my list.
Joel?
Okay, I was one of them that struggled with this mostly because there's a lot of good music in this series. You could do a whole list or series of articles about like top Fast and Furious music that isn't the headliner stuff. But I veered towards the probably stuff that's more often thought of. Number 5, Tokyo Drift. I just think that does such a perfect job at the start of that movie, giving you the sense of like you're in a different place, you're out of your depth. This is whole new jungle territory, and it's just very catchy. And even though I don't understand any of the lyrics, that they got the right tempo and tenor, so very good.
A lot
stuff.
of them are English.
Yeah.
Number 4, Chronolocura from Fast 6. This series likes to do a lot of Hispanic inspired or kind of mariachi style music, and I think this is probably one of the cleanest tracks where they've done that, and it has the right flow and tempo of. Number 3, Act a Fool, because how do you not have Ludacris on your list?
I don't.
This is
I feel bad now.
I do too.
Number 2 is Failbait by Deadmau5. I like, he's always a very solid musician and this tracks. And then number 1, See You Again. It's tied too much to a very tender experience, and it's hard not to include that.
I made a mistake. My top one was on 6, so that's my bad.
That's a good list, Joel. Matt, let's hear the scores.
Yeah, because you'll notice a theme with who does the music, who does the songs that I'm choosing. So coming in at number 5 from Fast X is Won't Back Down, orchestral only though, by Brian Tyler. Number 4, A Completely Insane Plan from Furious 7 by Brian Tyler. Number 3, Dante's Inferno from Fast X by Brian Tyler. And number 2, Downtown Tokyo Chase from Tokyo Drift by Brian Tyler. And that one nearly ended up actually at the top of my list, because Tokyo Drift was the first time in watching these films where I was like, oh, I really like the music in these films. Mm-hmm. Because like it was the first, like bringing Brian Tyler on, I think was the best decision they ever made in terms of like the score. Because all the other ones before that, it's so forgettable because it's just all the normal popular music,
action music
that the kids are listening to, that they sort of like put in, that just makes no sense. But then coming in at number 1, how can it be anything other than Vault Heist by Brian Tyler? Because I have sucked that song's dick so much that you know it has no balls left now. They're so dry, but it is just such an amazing track, because it's one of those songs where it's an action set piece, but it's 10 minutes long. But there's not like repetition. It's not the same thing over and over again. It's got this build up. It's got this sort of like the way the music goes through, and it's so fucking good. If you've never listened to any of the actual score, and if you choose one of them to listen to, go listen to Vault Heist and just listen to the way that that's composed, because it is so good. Because you get that it goes up and it's down, and it's so fucking good. So yeah,
cool.
By Brian Tyler.
Of course. This is where I was going to have a lot of honorable mentions, but Joel threw some hard shade at our honorable mentions tendency. So I don't have
so many lists.
I know. So I didn't do it. I won't even say what they were. So I'm gonna go with my number 5. I'm agreeing with Joel. Tokyo Drift by Teriyaki Boys. That's a solid song. Like I listen to it a lot. Like just the opening hook. I wonder if they know how they live in Tokyo. Like I'm in every time. It's just an awesome song. Number 4 is Bang featuring MIA by Ray Ray. I remember working at AMC, and whenever I went in to clean up the theater after 4 played and that song was playing, that bang, 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 bang. I'm like, I love this. This is great. Number 3 is We Own It, Wiz Khalifa. It's a great song. Number 2, See You Again, Wiz Khalifa again, because that's like that song will make me tear up if I listen to it at the wrong time, just because it just hits. It's such a good song. And then my number 1, because I've never stopped listening to it since like the day I walked out of the theater. I found the song, I bought the song. It's been constant rotation ever since, Danza Kuduro, because it's just a kick-ass song. Like that thing just gets me pumped up. I can drive down the highway to it, I can run to it, I can read to it. Perfect song. Love it.
Maybe don't drive to it, because you might end up getting pulled over for speeding.
That's true.
Good list. I love that we're all kind of like, we're like same but not same. So this is good so far.
Yeah.
Really? Even my list.
Yeah, but the scores are a testament to I'm telling you, like, good choice going scores.
Again, if Joel
that's
had
a
let me have
testament to the
honorable
theory.
mentions, we would have agreed a little bit more. But somebody had to go ruin that.
Fuck it.
I just think it's quite amusing that, like, everyone's chosen like the popular songs, and like I've just gone fully scores, and you think we've all got very similar lists. No,
Yours
mine is just so out of left field.
still fits.
Still works. You know why?
It works
It's
for
still
me as
music
well.
from the movies, so therefore we're all on the same page. All right, Joel, you are up first for top 5 bad guys.
All right, there
Fuck
might be a
this
little
up.
there might be a little bit of squirrely to my list here. So number 5 is Jacob Toretto. Because of his time in Fast X, I couldn't care about him less as the villain in his movie. Number 4 is Hobbs, because in that movie where he was an antagonist, I found himself a lot more of an opposing force and found him interesting as a sort of secondary enemy. Number 3, Takashi from Tokyo Drift. I think he just played that kind of spoiled, entitled brat, but then also having the juxtaposition of him being subservient to his mob boss father. Interesting. And then 2 is Owen Shaw and 1 is Deckard Shaw. And I'll just leave it at that.
Not a bad list. I don't think I agreed with you at any point, but not a bad list.
We
might
one
agree
of
on
them,
one,
There's a few that I'm shaking my head at.
2 of them. I agree with 2 of them.
One
We'll
and 2.
Well, you'll find out now, because if I'm not mistaken, it's me next, right?
Yes, it is.
Go for it.
Yeah. So for me, coming in at 5, Braga. Like, as much as I did not really think much of Fast and Furious, he's actually a really good character. And like, I know they do the stupid like, oh, I'm actually Braga, but the way that they carry him over into Furious 6 as well, I think he's really good in that. Like, the actor as well, which I forget his name, but he gives an amazing performance as that sort of like really nasty kind of villain. Number 4 is DK in Tokyo Drift, which I think is Takeshi as well.
Yeah,
I think that's I love that character, and I talked about it a lot on the episode, and you have like, he's such a believable character. He's one of the most realistic characters in this entire franchise, I think, which is insane to think that it's in the film that has basically none of the main actors in, but they got this really good actor, but also really well written and really believable character that is like in front of like the people who he can scare and everything. He's like, oh, I'm the man and everything like that, really kind of like swinging his dick around. But then the juxtaposition of like when he's speaking to his uncle, the big Yakuza boss guy, he is like a small child. He's like, yes, sir, very. And I just love that. And like I said in the episode, it reminded me so much of like characters in Tokyo Vice, which is very grounded and like the fact that a Fast and Furious film is making me think of something so grounded and realistic. Insane.
I think it speaks to the scope of the movie, though. Like, the boss needs to match the scope and tone of the movie, and given that this is more like a set of young kids almost on the streets, that it made sense that'd be like it's like being the big bully on the school grounds.
Yeah, stick DK in Fast X and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
It fits the film perfectly, and it fits the tone, like his character and everything.
I like it. It's a guy trying to play a gangster, but when the gangsters are there, he's a kid. So
yeah,
well done.
Yeah, it's very, very, very well done. Number 3, Reyes in Fast 5. I think he's such a good character. Like, the actor who plays him is so great, but I also think the character, especially I'm assuming I know it's in the director's cut version because of what Ryan was saying. I had no idea that they cut that scene out as well in the bank, and you get so much about it. Like, he's a version of Pablo Escobar, like by their loyalty and stuff like that. And we got more of that kind of like in backstory wise, a little bit from in Fast X. You find out that what he was like, and yeah, I think he's great. What I didn't think was great was the really poor CGI to make him look like he looked in Fast 5 when they shot the stuff for Fast X. Oh my God.
Yeah, he looked pretty bad.
Didn't even mention that last week, but Jesus Christ, like, slow down on the airbrushing, guys. Jesus. It's like waxworks there. Number 2 is Deckard Shaw. Like, the minute you're introduced to him in that hospital room.
The hospital
room. Weird fucking hotel, if that's what your hotels look like. It's just so badass. But it's not just like, I'm so fucking cool. It's you're getting told of like what this guy's capable of doing without even having to see it. Because you can then inter like whatever we think of is going to be way better than whatever they could have shot. Like the fact that he went in like a force of nature and just wiped out everyone in this hospital, like every sort of like security guard in this hospital, and you just see the aftermath of the destruction. He's so great. He's such a fucking good villain. And then going at number 1, Dante. Because I'm sorry, Momoa is that film. Take him out of that and it's shite. But he is so good. He is like, he's not just a mustache twirling bad guy though. There's actual character depth and development in there. Like, he has solid reasons behind it. Yes, he has the really insane, like, I'm a villain and I'm evil. But there is actually reason behind it. And you can see there are moments where the sort of the psychotic mask kind of falls a little bit and he shows his real anger at Dom. And it's kind of like, it's so nuanced at times. It's insane to say about Fast X because there's no nuance in any of these films. But then Momoa comes in and just fucking blows it away. Like, I love that character. It is so well performed. So yeah, like that's the only thing that Fast X is coming first on though.
Yeah, likewise. So for my top 5 bad guys, again, Joel's lack of honorable mentions ruined my list. But I'm fine with it. And my number honorable mention had to get moved to number 5 because it's more important than what was number 5. It's a little meta, but it's done more damage, this bad guy, if you will, to the Fast family than anything else, and more entertaining than most of them.
Is it Vin Diesel's ego?
Vin Diesel and The Rock is my number 5 bad guy. Because it has done so much damage to the Fast family.
Acceptable. I'll allow
my God.
Not alone.
That is so good. I thought it was going to be like Vin Diesel's ego, and then as soon as you said it's Vin Diesel and The Rock's feud, I was like, oh.
I thought it was going to be perfect. Rock saying some bitch. A little part of me.
It could have been The Rock's ego, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's done more damage to the family than any of the villains in the movie. So that's what gets my number 5 spot. Number 4, getting far more serious with the list, is Herman Reyes from part 5. Everything Matt said. Matt makes my list a lot easier. Just listen to what he said. Number 3 is DK/Takashi. I'm glad that he's popping up on all of our lists because he's such a good fucking villain. My number 2, I only wanted to pick one Shaw. I didn't want to let 2 of them get on here. So I went with Owen just because as much as I love Statham in this movie, he's so cartoonish. He just pops up out of nowhere all the time. And it just kind of, as awesome as he is, it just kind of took the character in a little bit. Whereas Owen just felt like more of like an actual villain without like that cartoonish superpower. Not saying anything's wrong with that. He's still great. That's why I gave it to Owen. And the reason I only want to have one Shaw on here is because I already had 2 Reyes on here and Dante is my number 1. I didn't want my 5 list being, or all 4 spots taken up by 2 families. So I had to mix it up a little bit. But yeah, Dante wins because everything Matt said and everything we said last week. Momoa fucking crushed it. Just give me that scene with him and the 2 corpses, and he's already number 1.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan. So
it's probably appropriate that I go last when it talks about villains because I'm the one that says you make a good villain, you make a good movie. So, I had 6, and it took me a little bit to sit there and think about how am I going to make this work because I had,
the one time I put my foot down,
it's all your fault. We know
the one time.
It's okay. Listen,
just an opportunity to pile on, right?
When you
Listen,
paint a target on your back, we're gonna take shots.
Listen, I was able to do it, and I kind of went the route that Brian did, but I will continue. So here we go. So number 5 is the only thing that makes it from Hobbs and Shaw, is Brixton. I think that idea, just the fact that he does. It's Idris Elba. He does not give a shit. He phoned it in, and he was.
Like I say, it's Idris Elba not actually caring though.
No, it is not. It is not him caring, and it lends to the character. So, I didn't like the whole superhuman, but there was things about him that just kind of were like, okay. So to me, it was fine. There's just things about him that were really kind of menacing, and to see kind of like the pain and the anguish that he goes through to be better is kind of what makes him more on a human scale. Like you kind of relate to him, like he's getting his back. I don't even know, but it is what it is. So he knocked off a Shaw brother, because we'll get into it later. Number 4 is, I think, the only thing from part 2, but Carter Verone.
He was at 5 for me until I saw Fast X, and Dante jumped in at number 1.
Carter Verone. You've got 2 people, and the next one is Hernan Reyes, but 2 people that have power and know how to use power in a very evil way. And the reason why Carter is less is because he uses more force. Like, he's more of a violent power person, whereas Hernan Reyes is more of a power influencer and gets his way that way. They know what he can do, whereas Carter almost constantly has to show what he does, but he's very manipulative, and I think that's very crucial to what he does in the whole thing and how he flushes out what's going on. So I just thought that was very good. Hernan Reyes is number 3, everything that Matt said, but this is the guy that has power and knows how to use power. He's shown that he is ruthless, but now he's a businessman, and I think that's really good. Next is Dante. Unfortunately, he's not on my list. It was very hard to not have him in my number 1, but I have a very good reason why having number 1 in my number 1. But he is just he's a man out for revenge, and that's all he knows. And he is just, if it was anybody other than Jason Momoa, he never would have made this list, because any other person would have taken the role seriously. Whereas knowing what he wanted it to be eccentric. He saw an opportunity and he went for it, and he hit the bar and probably got the gold medal and probably could jump another 20 feet. Hopefully we see that in the sequel. Last but not least is a Shaw. Choosing between Deckard and Owen was very difficult, but I think the motivating factor, we would not have Deckard if we didn't have Shaw, and I think Shaw is more of an eco-terrorist, and I think his whole plan, Deckard was just there to mess things up for Dom in 6. You mess with my family, 7. Now I'm going to mess with you. So to me, that's just motivated by revenge. Whereas Owen is a terrorist, and that's a little bit more on the scary side. Whereas Deckard was an assassin. You mess with my family, I'm going to come for you. Whereas Owen was, okay, now I'm doing this and I want to, be bad. And he's got a mole in with his crew with Gia Guerrero, or whatever her name is. So there's all those different things that are in there, and so I think that makes him top dog. That's all I got.
Another solid list. We weren't that far off on our villains. Like, we didn't agree
No.
entirely, but we were pretty close. I do like that DK got some shout outs.
I wish I could put DK, but
yeah.
No.
But no, I think everyone, the series had good villains. Like, it might have a lot of problems, but it did have good villains. Yeah, Cypher was actually almost on my list, but then there just wasn't enough with her, but she was close.
Yeah. If it was like rank who do we like as the actors playing the role, Cypher would be on there, but that's just because it's Charlize Theron and she's amazing when she's given something to do. And the problem is she's not given anything to do in any of these films.
Right. And it's just kind of a bummer, because you can tell she's great, but there's just nothing for her to do. So Matt, you're up first, right?
Oh yeah, I think I am.
Yeah.
So it's really top five crew members, right?
Yeah. So just for the clarification, I didn't say family members because I wanted to remove emotion from this. It's not about ranking family. It's just crew members.
Number 1 through 5, all Rita Moreno. I'm done.
So coming in at 5 for me is Mia, because when she's actually in the crew, like in Fast 5, when she's running logistics and like all that, she's really good. And I just, one of the great moments in that chase is when the cuts between her, like, you know, on the radio, and then you have that fantastic bit where she's like, guys, I'm just listening to it. Do you just take out a bank? And I just love that whole sequence. And I think like when they actually use her and know what to do with her, she's fantastic. The problem is they don't really know what to do with her most of the time. So just like, but going off like, you know, her in Fast 5 gets her on that list there because like, it's like this car's more my speed anyway, and all that sort of stuff as well. Great.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Giselle. I think she is fucking fantastic. There is a reason why Gal Gadot became Wonder Woman, and it is probably these films. She is like, you know, she has this ability to be really kind of like badass, but not like over the top, like very kind of like a bit more realistic. And like, you know, this is someone who you look at them and you think, yeah, they could probably just kill me very easily. And, you know, it's that whole thing that we talked about in Terminator with the attraction. Like, there's a lot of attraction there because she could probably kick the shit out of me as well. Like, I have a weird thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terminator, Aliens, and all those other.
Thank you, James Cameron.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Number 3, I kind of cheated with this a little bit because I don't think you can list these guys separately, and it's Tej and Roman, because together they are just like, they bounce off each other so well, and I don't think you can have one without the other, and you can't rank them one over another either. Number 2 is Bryan, because I think, like, when it comes down to it, losing Paul Walker kind of was like where the series kind of lost its way as well. So, like, he's very important to the sort of like the unity and stuff like that. But also he's really great as like a number 2, and like the idea that, like, you know, Dom's always going to be like the best car driver, but Brian's always like the second best one, and it's sometimes that's more interesting because you got that interplay between them. Like, you know, Brian wants to be the best, and, you know, it's and then coming at number 1, Han, just because Tokyo Drift alone, he gets to number 1 because, and then everything that comes after that is like the icing on the cake because he's such a good character. He's probably one of the best written characters in 3 and 5 and 6. Like, but let's ignore his resurrection stuff because, again, like we were saying, they don't know what to do with him. But I think and him and Giselle have like the chemistry between them is amazing as well. I'm a Giselle and Han shipper. What can I say?
I was going to say that as well about the best written character, and I think that's because Justin Lin had written him in Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah,
and it's the same character. So
yeah, it's that sort of that crossover from coming out of that film, and then, like, you know, and there's just like little subtleties of, like, you know, he doesn't smoke anymore, so he's always eating snacks, and we don't even have anything that's like mentions that until 5, where Giselle points it out. But it's so subtle, and it's been there for like, and you look back at them all and it's like, oh my god, yeah, he's always having snacks,
and he's a huge smoker in Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And Dom's not on there because Dom's just fucking Superman.
It's his crew, so fuck him.
Yeah,
exactly.
I didn't list Dom in my original crew either. It just didn't feel right. Like, it just doesn't work. I'm realizing,
like, but Dom is the Captain Kirk, basically. He's the one who, like, he can do all these things because he needs to. He's the number 1 on the call sheet or something, and that's not an interesting character to me. You know,
he's a straight man.
Yeah.
All right. So my list is gonna be I really trying to think crew wise, and I'm trying to think of, like, you son of a bitch, I'm in, like who do I want in my crew? So that's how I
want all those in my crew.
Yeah. So, like, I was trying to think of, like, who would I want, like, if I'm putting together a crew, who am I putting in there? So I definitely cheated a lot in this list. There's only 5. It's a lot of cheating. But my number 5 is Vince, actually. Because Vince has got loyalty. Like, that guy is loyal to a fault. Like, if you're in with Vince, you're good. And Vince was the only one who was right about Bryan. And he told Dom, like, kick this guy the fuck out or everything's going to be ruined. He was dead on. So Vince gets a pretty high spot for me. Number 4, following exactly what Matt was thinking, although he and I did not talk about it, I have Tej and Roman together because you can't separate them. Number 4, I was also doing this kind of the same way, is Han and Giselle. Because again, like Matt, Han and Giselle's shipper, and I think they work better together than when they're separate. And I like them both as characters better together than separately. Although Han, I still think is great, especially like Tokyo Drift and Better Luck Tomorrow. Like he is a great character on his own, but I liked him more with Giselle. Number 2, because she never fucking loses, and she's a fucking badass, is Letty. You got to have Letty in your crew. And then number 1, who is going to be your clutch player every fucking time, because he is the best? It's Bryan. You got to have Bryan in your crew. So if I was building a crew, it would be those 5-7 people. And I feel pretty good about it. Go ahead, Ryan.
All right, so I love that all of you had put people together, because that means that I can put people together. So that made my list so much more easier. So thank you.
We didn't say honorable mention, so fuck you.
There are no honorable mentions. We have grouped them together. So fuck you. I'm doing it this way. I really wanted to put Mr. Nobody on this, but I really couldn't do it.
He's not really part of the crew.
He's not really.
I thought
Quit
about that
sneaking in an
Ryan,
honorable mention.
this
Let's go.
qualifies as an honorable mention.
Okay, fine.
He didn't say the words, guys.
I didn't, but I'm saying Santos and I forget the other guy's name.
Rios?
Santos.
Is it?
Leo. Santos and
Leo.
Yeah.
Those guys are such comic relief. They go in, they're there when little details aren't thought about. It's Santos and Leo that come through.
Yeah.
They're the ones that kind of, oh, you forgot about this? We got it. Oh, you want this? We got this. They're great. They have their great comic relief, especially with the whole cooking thing when they go to Vegas and they put everything on black. Everything about those two, they don't get too much focus, but they're integral. 4 is Letty. She is the original OG woman. She is a badass, whether if she's bad or not. She was there. She's part of the original gang, so there's that. Next is Han and Giselle. If it was no Giselle, Han would be higher. Han, I think, is the only true character in this movie. He is so well written. He is a moral voice. He is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Collected. A lot of people make decisions on things, and he's the one that kind of sits and thinks things through. He even shows that in Fast X when he sees Jason Statham. A man coming for revenge, but he's like, I just need to talk to you. Perfect. But Giselle's just a badass, hot, sexy woman assassin, can kill me any day as long as I could. She is the last thing I see. She can put a bullet between my eyes. It's fine. Next is Bryan. As much as I wanted to put him number 1, but Bryan is the one. He was the outsider that came in and became that lifelong friendship with Dom. But you have to have the Laurel and Hardy here. You have to have your 2 comic relief people that work so well together as your number 1. Roman and Tej, number 1. If it was just singles, it'd just be Roman, because Roman in 2 without, I guess Tej is in 2, but either way, these 2 playing off each other is nothing short of fantastic. And it works so well for this film. If these 2 were not featured in this movie, the comic relief, these movies wouldn't be comic. It would just be straight action movies. Those are my thoughts, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. All right. My number 5 is Tej. I think the way the series handled him from starting as like a gearhead to going to straight up like tech genius, I don't know how, but they make you believe it
Somehow.
And I think that in itself is impressive. I mean, notwithstanding his relationship with Bryan, the style of humor he has in general, and then I guess if we're going beyond Ludacris's impact on everything ranging from that to the music, he's undeniably important to the series.
I think him trimming down the afro helped, sell the genius thing, because you look at in Too Fast, Too Furious, like, wow, that's a lot of hair.
Hey man, he pulled it off.
My number 4 is Bryan. For the same reason that you guys already have to some extent. He was the connective tissue for so much of this, and it's clear that once he was gone, this series never figured out how to cohesively move forward without him. He's charismatic. He is the butt of jokes often enough to where his character stays relatively humble in that way and keeps him from being a full-on douchebag. And I just think he's a great actor. Like it's just better than I expected to come out of a series like this.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Letty. Letty is the woman who gets the most agency so many times to shine. She's never seen as sort of weak. It's always from a position of strength and willing to speak out clearly what she wants or how she feels. Every time that she's in a combat sequence, even if they show her kind of out of her depth, they give her the respect her character deserves. And the series wouldn't be the same without her. Number 2 is Roman. Same thing you guys already said. Roman and Tej are such an important piece to the humor and comedy, the relationship that they work within each other. I think that every time they're together, the people around them shine a little bit too, just by dint of being around them. And but the only difference is that I think Roman can more easily play off of people with his sort of manic loudness. Number 1's Han. For everything he's such a well-developed character. He is cool, calm, collected in pretty much every sequence he's in, and there's a sincerity to his character that you don't always feel the same way about with others.
Something's got to be said, the fact that we all have almost main people on our lists. Like Ramsey didn't get any love, Sean didn't get any love. You know, I mean, that goes to show.
Sean doesn't really count as like
he's in 9. He's in 9.
Yeah, but it's like that's the thing. He's in 9, and he's still not really part of the crew. He doesn't really go in the cars with them. He's just kind of there.
Yeah,
and I think
that's why I kind of want to included Leo and Santos, is because of the fact that they were in 4 and 5 and a huge part. But then they just kind of I think they came back in.
They came back in 9.
One did. It was
they were both in the flashback.
Yeah, in prison. So
yeah.
Did they show up? Didn't they show up in 8 as well?
I think one did. One did.
One shows up in 8.
Yeah, I thought both of them. I thought both of them were like the paramedics who pick up Shaw's dead body.
Oh, you might be right.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I was thinking the barbecue at the end because only one's at the barbecue. Like, I don't know where Leo.
That's
went.
what I was thinking. Yeah. But I thanks for justifying even more, Matt. Thank you.
No. Those poor guys, they never get the spotlight, but they're very, very good. I agree. I'm glad they're on someone's list, even if they weren't on mine.
Because they stupidly lost $20 million by betting it on red and black at the same time.
Memorable shit, man.
Then it came out 0-0.
All right, so I'm first now, right? Matt, you just went first?
Yes.
Okay, so top 5 action sequences. This was, to me, the hardest list other than 1 and 2. 1 and 2 were incredibly easy. We might have a lot of overlap there, but we might not. I'm guessing number 1 will be pretty similar for everybody, but let's find out. My number 5 is the hand fights, all of them in the subway scene in 6 with Han and it's Roman, right? Who have to fight with Joe from the raid, and they just get their shit kicked out of them. Like, no one can know about this.
No one has to know about this.
Like,
no one.
And you have all that going on while you have the Letty and Gina Carano fight, like all of that, like those fights all at the same time in the London Underground was really, really cool. And it's very well choreographed fights. I just loved them. My number 4, I did not think was going to be on this list at all because I didn't really like it the first time I saw it. And now, having seen the movie a few times, every time I get to the sequence, I'm like edge of my seat excited for it. And it's the final race in Tokyo Drift. I love it. It's just a really fun sequence of them going down the mountain and then DK being the best. And then he's never crashed on it. He's the only one who has it. Then he's crashing. Like, it's a good race. Like, it's just very, very well done. My number 3 is the plane jump from 7. It's awesome. It's funny. It's cool to watch. Roman getting thrown out of the plane against his will is just, it's fantastic. It makes me laugh. Like, I love it. And it's just like one of those so over the top, but knowing they actually did drop cars out of planes to film them, it's like, okay, no, I'm okay with it. Like, this is way over the top, but you actually did go the extra mile to try to make it at least happen a little bit. Whereas like later in the movie, when like they're jumping cars between buildings, they can't do that shit, but they could throw cars from high up. So they did that. And that just made it that much more enjoyable for me. Number 2 is the entire bridge sequence with the tank from 6. All of it. It's just awesome. Just like top tier action filmmaking. You don't get much better than that unless you're talking about number 1 with the bank heist. The vault through the city of Rio is just some of the best action I have ever seen in a movie, full stop.
So I'll happy to go next because my 1 and 2 are the exact same as yours.
Yeah.
All right, and my number 5. So number 5 is I literally had to flip a coin between the subway fights and the raining cars when we see Vin Diesel in his full villain mode. But yeah, the fight sequence between Letty and that character, and then Han and Roman fighting that other guy, man, that's just the best fighting that we have in the entire series, is just in that sequence. I thought that was fantastic. Number 4 for me is the runaround during the finale of God's Eye, where Demon Khonshu has the God's Eye and he's trying to track Ramsey at the end of 7. Of course, you've got all these different characters doing different things. You've got Bryan fighting Tony Jaa. You've got The Rock coming with a firestorm cannon to take down the chopper. You've got Dom versus Deckard, which is a huge fight. And then you've got Roman and Tej trying to protect Ramsey. So everything about that sequence just was really edge of your seat and earned for that movie. For number 7, that action sequence was 100% earned. I could care less if Dom, the whole craziness of ramping a car and leaving hand grenades on it, it was earned. From that movie, everything about that movie was earned. Number 3 is the 20-mile runway sequence.
Hell yeah.
1.6.
That's a good one.
And even then, I don't think 20 miles is enough. But no,
didn't we find it was like 26,
Yeah,
26
like that,
point
yeah.
something, or like
Long enough to be seen from space.
Everything about that sequence was earned. You have a very high stakes, and I really wanted to put Owen, the first time we see Owen in his launch car, that whole sequence was really good from that movie. But you have to put the 20-mile, because from them using the harpoons to try to get the car down, you've got the wrestling moves in the airplane, you've got Giselle's sacrifice. Everything about that sequence was so well done. Number 2 is the tank and the bridge. It's just a very classic scene, and this is where the movies start to one-up themselves, especially with the whole, guys, they have a tank. Like, it was unbelievable for us as it was for them. So everything about that was good. And then, of course, the vault chase was the perfect ending of that movie. It was a heist movie from the start. Right when they were stealing the cars out of the train to this heist movie, it's a movie that built on each other and really set the tone for the future movies. That's it.
Solid list. Mostly because we agree on 3 out of 5.
Right.
All right. For number 5, it is when the team circles Dom and harpoons his car to shit and then tries to stop him.
Oh, Fast 8.
There is
going best action sequences, not stupid ones, right?
Well, my favorite. How about we go with that? Some of my favorite.
Okay.
That's the one with where they just keeps looking. Oh, 220. Oh, 460. It's like, do we supposed to understand these numbers?
Higher numbers equals better. That's really all they need to know about that. I won't go any further into that. Number 4 is the first race in Tokyo. There's something just so delightful about him doing such a terrible job and leaving his car in tatters and then still coming out of it smiling, even though it's like the opposite of
he came out smiling because it wasn't his car.
Yeah, probably. But it's a good sequence, and it's just a lot of fun and funny in that to start with. Number 3 is the tank sequence, for what everybody's already talked about. Number 2 is actually when Bryan and Roman do the drag race at night for the pink slips of the muscle
that's a
cars.
good one. Yeah.
That it's just one of the, to me, it's tough to compete against that in terms of drag races. A lot of the drag races, it's like the banter back and forth between each other before and after the race is some of the best stuff. And this is one that's clearly there's a lot of cool stuff happening and a lot of smart, mind game stuff going on in it. And number 1's bank heist.
Yeah.
I won't even go farther. We all know.
Nobody watches part 5 and goes, that part sucked.
No.
Nobody watches part 5 and goes, yeah, I've seen better in these films.
Yeah, no way.
Because spoiler alert, we all have the same number 1.
Yeah.
So for me, this one, it's funny, some of the sequences that everyone else has mentioned just got edged out of my list. I had the drag race for the muscle cars on my list for a bit, and then it got moved out. I had the runway on my list, and it got
I did
moved
too.
out.
That one got bumped.
But I tried to go with something like, okay, what's the ones where it does something a little bit different? So I tried to do like, not all car related stuff. So coming at number 5, I've got the ambush in Fast 5, where they get attacked when the Rock's taking them in.
That's
and
real
like, they
good.
get ambushed.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
really it's brutal.
It's where your boy died,
for-
Brian.
No, that's a
and and what I like about it is like a lot of the action sequences in these films, like, yeah, this is so cool there, but this one's it's brutal. It's a massacre of Hobbs's team, and then it's like, there's the genuine moment of like, if you go into that film just not knowing what comes after that, there's a genuine moment in there where you're like, oh shit, the Rock's gonna die because he's not really part of the crew. He's after them, and like, we can't have the crew kill him, so this is how we're gonna get rid of him. But then you have the bit where they come out and save him, and it's so good. It's so well done. I love that sequence. The coming at number 4 is the underground fight in Furious 6, was it?
Yeah.
Fast 6 or whatever the fuck they call it. They've changed the name so much. They've just gone back and retconned them to Fast and Furious 6 now. It's so good. Like, it's brutal. It's a hand-to-hand combat, and like going down, like they're falling down those concrete stairs, and they're going, oh my god, that I can almost feel how much that would hurt. Like, I've been downstairs like that in the underground. My feet have literally touched them. Like, they're solid. Like, they ain't hot. They're not hollow little bits of plates that they put on. That's solid concrete that was like laid in the 19th century or something. Like, some of those tube stations go back that far, and it is just the idea of like falling down those stairs in the middle of a fight. Unbelievable. And then you've got like the juxtaposition of Roman and, was it Han, who were fighting the other guy, and like that is just, again, it's brutal and like, but it also has that comedic element, and I just think it's so good. Number 3 is the Tokyo chase in Tokyo Drift, and it's the one where DK is chasing them and then Han dies. I just think the way it's shot it's like where Sean starts drifting, and you have that beautiful overhead shot of Tokyo, of the car going around and the crowd literally partying.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's so much, like, this is like Justin Lin's first film in this, and he's like, you can tell that he's got something to prove, and it's just so well choreographed, and it looks fantastic. And the music in it is amazing. Like, there's a reason the music for that sequence ended up on my list. It's so good. Number 2 is I'll literally read out exactly what I wrote. Tank. So yeah,
Yep.
That's number 2. And number 1, Vault Heist. Like, we've all said like how much this is amazing. It's because it's not just like that. It's a cool action. It's also really clever, because you have like, guys, you just got yourself a 10-second window, and like, okay, well, what they're gonna do? What are they actually doing with this? And then it's so well cut. Like, you have them go under the bridge, and then you see them coming out the bridge, and you've got the truck that they actually swap the vaults out with coming out, and there's the sheet still on the front of it, but you don't catch it the first time because you're focused on the cars. But it's kind of like they're not trying to like hide it from you. It's kind of there. It's like if you pick up on that, it's like why is there a sheet on the front of that? Oh, I think I know where they're going with this. But it's so good, and like, music in it is amazing. The choreography of it is amazing. The stunt work is amazing. The fact they did all that with real cars, and there's like, correct me if I'm wrong, no CG at all. Like, they actually were dragging like a prop vault through the streets, or was the vault itself like sometimes CG?
I mean, there's definitely some CG mixed in, but they did a ton practical.
Yeah, like the practical effects in that is amazing. Like, and then you've got the bit where it looks like they're about to get caught, and then you have Roman and Han coming in and like smashing the cars, and like, nice to meet you, officer. And again, it's the sort of the humor comes out. It's so good. I can watch that sequence over and over again, and just enjoy the hell out of it. So good. Right, I'll stop talking now.
All right, so that was I went first on that round, so that means Ryan is up first
For quotes.
for
All right.
quotes.
This very well could have been the Roman show. It was very hard to knock this down. So number 5 just kind of encapsulates Roman for who he is, and I had to give him his own. But number 11, my ass. It's after Mr. Nobody ranks all the members, and he was told he was number 11, and he comes and saves the day. And I just thought that was good. I'm a huge for number 4. I'm a huge fan of the villains. I've said it before, and I said it again. And there's nothing more menacing than at the end of 6 when you see Jason Statham get out of the car and say, "Dominic Toretto, you don't know me, but you're about to." Cut to black. There was, I mean, that sets up a lot of things that happen in a great movie in part 7. So there's that. Number 3. I love number 3 so much, just because the way it's said by the actor and how it was kind of alluded to earlier in the film. But it's my only Bryan quote. It's "Cars don't fly, Dom. Cars don't fly."
That's a real good one.
Oh, it's just so good. It's so good because, you know, it's Bryan just like, we're pushing the limits too far on this one. And just everything about that was great. Number 2 is from my friend Dante is, "Okay, I'll be back, but I'll have someone come back and bury you later." Just perfect, methodical. Everything about that scene was great, and that really just kind of hones his character. And of course, number 1, it has to be said. There's a lot of quotes that can be said, but I have to go with the one that was completely improvised and gave us the greatest moment, real moment of the film, and you just kind of feel how real it was on set. But it's, "Hey Mia, you better hide your baby oil. Hey, you better hide that big ass forehead." It's just a joke.
So fucking good.
So good. That's my quotes, and I'm sticking to them.
All right, Joel.
All right. My number 5 is "Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back." I think it's a good Han quote, and they do such a good job in keeping with that character the entire series. It goes back to the sort of sincerity with the wry smile and humor with that, and I just think it's concise and good. Number 4 is baby oil and forehead. You know, it already explained why. Number 3 was "I owe you a 10-second car." At the end of the Fast and the Furious. It's just a very good close loop moment and good callback to earlier in the movie. And it's perfect bow tie on the end. Number 2 is Bryan and Dom at the end of 4. "You know, I would have won that race if you didn't cheat, right? You hit your head pretty hard."
That's a good one.
And number 1 has to be "Bullshit, asshole. Nobody likes the tuna here."
Why did I not think of that?
We're done. Cut it.
Why did I not think of that?
It's just stick with me forever.
Yeah.
With these.
Oh man.
All right, Matt.
So coming at number 5. "Well, thanks to your botched Berlin job, you all made Interpol's top 10 most wanted list." Top 10? That's all right. "Well, not you, Roman." "What do you mean?" "You just missed the cut. You're 11. I love that. And just it's like the look on Roman's face throughout that entire thing just makes it as well. Number 4, and Mr. Nobody again, actually. And I think it's such a cool line. And I just think it's great. It's like, "There's a war going on between shadows and ghosts like me." I just think it's so kind of sets out what these films are going to become now. Like, you know, this more clandestine things, like, you know, also kind of pointing out as well, like, yeah, we're not street racing anymore. We are going more into this kind of, you know, espionage element, I suppose. Number 3 is Roman in Fast 5. "See, now I know why I always get in an accident. You can't even drive a remote control car." Number 2, it's so good. This whole thing. So bear with me, it is a bit long.
Oh no.
"You got special plans? Big day? You're gonna invite us all out? Better make sure you get her a big rock, man, because she doesn't look like she'll be that easily impressed. And if it's not a big rock, you better be big somewhere else. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's why all your girlfriends wear so much bling, huh?
Damn, Han.
He's the man.
What's so great about Han as well is that he doesn't say much, but when he does, especially when it's like a cutting, like when it's a clapback or something like that, it's just so like on point. It's fucking brilliant. And then coming at number 1 because it's one of the most ludicrous lines in the entire. I just made a joke that I didn't even realize then, but it is. It's one of the most ludicrous lines in the entire franchise, but it fucking works.
This better be a
Guys,
ludicrous line.
It actually is. That's why when I said that, I was like, no, I didn't even mean that. Guys, we got to come up with a different plan. They got a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking good. Like that as a whole idea of the fact that they're going up against a tank and cars, and they're like, we improvise from then on. It's like,
man.
It's a damn tank.
That the we do what we do best, we improvise was almost on my list. Like that thing was kicking around on the bottom 5 for a while. It just never quite made it up.
That tank quote would not have worked if not as well acted as it was.
Yeah,
exactly.
Ludacris sells the hell out of it.
He does such a good job because it's all in the facial expressions, and it's like the beats and the line delivery as well. It's like, guys, you got to come with another problem. And it's like you can almost like in his head, you can see him going, can't believe I'm going to actually have to say this. They got a tank.
Yeah. The stage is escalated.
And then like everyone gets murdered in that tank. I'm sorry, they didn't jump out of the cars. Like that tank.
They jumped out of the cars.
They did not.
They
that tank murdered a bunch of families on their way to a nice little holiday.
They rolled out of the way. They're okay.
They're soup.
All right, here come my quotes. All right, so number 5, from part 2. It's a very, very important quote, crucial to the film. Ejectocito, cuz.
I forgot that line.
I've loved that line ever since I saw this movie. Number 4, coming in from Fast X. It's just a great fucking line. I even mentioned it last week. Never accept death when suffering is owed. Badass line. Like that's
very,
just a
very good line.
And then surprisingly enough, I'm very shocked looking at this. Didn't realize it when I was doing it. The rest of mine are all from part 1. Never thought 1 was that quotable a movie except for this one, which is I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. Not the mortgage, not the store, not the team, and all their bullshit. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free. Fuck off. It's a good line. If you say you live your life a quarter mile at a time, everyone knows what film franchise you're talking about. Everyone. It's a good
and
line.
half of them then vomit.
That's their problem. I'm just saying the line works. Number 2 is also coming from part 1, as I said. But this one's a little bit more emotional for me because I thought it was like where I really kind of began to like love their friendship. And it's I mentioned it actually earlier in this episode. It's Pop the Hood. It's when he's delivering the 10-second car and he's like, pop the hood. And everyone's like, pop the hood? What the fuck? And they open and like, oh, he's not playing. This is actually like we can make something out of this. And it's like that instant bonding, and it just comes from the line of way too cocky Paul Walker, just pop the hood. And just like that shit-eating grin on his face of like, I got something here. I love it so much. It just warms my heart. And then very much like what Joel was going with for my number 1, I'll have the tuna, no crust. Without it, there's no Fast and Furious franchise. He doesn't order the tuna, we don't have a movie. So
Yep, 100%.
I mean, we definitely don't have a podcast name.
That's true. I do like that as we did this rewatch, I did not realize that the tuna did come up a few more times. So I was very happy to find out, like, when I came up with this title, it wasn't a complete waste.
It was
like,
in 7. It was in 7 when he calls Mia.
Yep.
I'm really glad I ordered that sandwich.
So
it's a really bad sandwich.
So terrible.
It's such a bad sandwich.
Made me feel so much more validated for naming our show shitty tuna sandwich. All right, Joel, you get the high honors of you get to go first for the rankings.
This is gonna be interesting. Okay. My 11 was Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
I'd be hard pressed to choose anything else. Sorry, Ryan. I don't hold you personally.
You don't know what good
for
movies are. It's fine.
But you wouldn't be the first one to say that. But But Hobbs and Shaw is something that should have been a knocked out of the park in paper, and they don't know how to handle those characters in a way that gives them a new movie series or references back to the original series in a way that works. So much wrong with it. Number 10 is Fate of the Furious. So that movie just felt like a jumbled mess that didn't know how to go beyond Bryan in the series, and they end up focusing on Dom, who is the least interesting character in the entire series. And it's all the worse for that. Number 9 is Fast and Furious, or Fast 4. I think its biggest sin is that it's just kind of boring and too dark with not enough fun in it. And it's one of the movies here where I really felt like I just want this to wrap up. I'm not enjoying myself. 8 is Fast 9. 8 is Fast 9. I remember being fine with the movie at the time, but looking back, like I hardly remember much of anything about the movie other than outer space. And so because it wasn't very noteworthy for me, it sort of just fell towards the bottom there. 7 is Fast X, for all we talked about last week. It's not a necessarily good movie, but it was fun. One person made that entire movie worth watching. 6 is Too Fast, Too Furious. Because even though it'd be like this is on Comedy Central on a Sunday afternoon after you've been drinking too much, it's not a good movie. It's fun. It's fun, and it introduces Roman, which is important. 5 is Fast 7. I think they did a decent send-off with Bryan for what they could. I like Deckard Shaw. Obviously, the introduction of that and him being such a great character throughout the entire thing made it a pretty good movie. 4 is The Fast and the Furious. I probably think of this movie a lot more fondly than, say, Matt does. It's very aged for its time. It has some unfortunate choices that have not aged well, but in other ways, it has that nostalgia for me of that time, and I can appreciate it in spite of what it is. And you can see from the start that Vin Diesel and Paul Walker have that chemistry that carries through the entire thing. Number 3 is Tokyo Drift, which, for all the lampooning that movie seems to have gotten over the years, it's completely undeserved. It's a very good movie. And if you can at least accept that the crew's not going to be there and then live with it within its own thing, it is absolutely worth watching. Number 2 is Fast 5. Fast 5 is everything that you want out of one of these movies. It has humor, has action, the stakes feel real, and just so many memorable lines and moments. It's great. And then number 1 is Fast 6. Similar reasons as 5. I think they're both great quality. I guess I'm a sucker for that kind of like love story kind of thing a little bit, and I think that works well for me between Dom and Letty. And it's a lot of it's because Letty is a good character that works within the confines of being part of a different quote unquote family, and just so many good moments, But that's my list.
It's a solid list. I'm comparing. Yeah. We are lockstep for a good chunk of your list.
The thing I noticed about the series, though, too, like looking back, I can't recommend people watch these week after week. I think like my mind divides into 2 ways. Like 1 through 4, you should watch within a couple of weeks, because I think the spacing out doesn't work so well for those. But then after that, give yourself a month between each of them, because it lets your brain sort of forget some of the stuff. And then it'll help you like paper over some of the things that bother you if you watched one every week.
Yeah, every week's a little rough on these. Still glad we did it for this show.
Yeah,
twice in 1 week, and then having a week off.
But that's the thing I noticed with 10. It was just like, it's been long enough where I can kind of forgive a lot of this boring.
I do wonder that, like, if we'd have rolled straight into like going from like 9 to 10 and had to watch both those back to back, would 10 have been a little bit less To be fair, we're still quite negative about 10, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
basically
think
going through the whole thing, like, Momoa's great, everything else sucks.
Yeah, I think we've watched enough of these at this point to know what we know. Like, we know what we like in these things. I don't think the pacing really matters for us. Unfortunately, we do not qualify for Joel's advice, but I do think he has very good advice when it comes to watching these. As Matt and I learned, like with one of our upcoming franchises, Friday the 13th, don't watch them all in 2 weeks. Don't do it.
No, don't. So many teenager deaths.
All right, Matt, you're up.
So I'm going to do my rank from the top to the bottom because I think my bottom is going to be a lot more surprising.
You have a surprising bottom, do you?
Oh, yes. You know it. So coming at number 1, Fast 5. Like, the amount that I have just gone on about how amazing this film is, it's always going to be the top. The vault chase is the best action sequence in the whole film. And we're coming to these films for the action. And what's great about the rest of Fast 5 is it all kind of ties very well together. And you have, like, The Rock acting, which is rare, to be honest. He's actually playing a role. He's not just playing himself. Coming at number 2, Fast and Furious 6. Again, very, very good film. Very difficult to choose between Fast 5 and Fast 6. And it all comes down to that vault chase. The vault scene, like in Fast 5, in terms of like how it's shot, it's a nicer looking thing. Whereas like I think Fast and Furious 6 a bit more dour looking because it's set in London, because London is dour. It rains all the time. And then coming in at number 3 is Furious 7. I just think like these 3 films are so good. Like you could literally just go from Fast 5, Furious 6, Furious 7, and you could they're like their own little trilogy. And you don't really necessarily need to see what's happened before then.
I would argue, but you could slide in Tokyo Drift between 6 and 7, and it still works.
I mean, yeah. Matt, you're on point with things that I'm going to say, but I'm just going to say this right now: is those 3 are certified fresh critics and audience. Now, some of the that shit means a lot of garbage, but sometimes I look at it. But still, these 3 have no right being that good in the middle of a franchise.
Yeah, especially this is like 5, 6, and 7 in a franchise. Like there's like normally you have 1, 2, maybe 3's good in a franchise. Not 5, 6, and 7 being the best of the franchise. Like definitely not. Coming at number 4, Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift was the first one that I watched, and I was like, shit, Brian's right.
Yeah,
I'm actually really enjoying these. Like it came a lot sooner than I think he thought it was going to. I'm guessing you thought Fast 5 would be where I went, shit, he's right.
Ignorant Brian in the past thought it was going to be 4. I've learned a lot of wrongs on 4.
I'll take it.
Then coming in at number 5 is Too Fast, Too Furious. It was just so much fun. Like the villain was really kind of like, yeah, I'm a villain and I'm very evil. But it was like, it was also like there was something there as well. It's very much like I'm watching this going, this is very Miami Vice. This is kind of like 21st century Miami Vice, and yeah, it's got that style, and it's just everything's very bright. It's Miami. It's great. They should go back to Miami in this series. It's a very underutilized place. Coming at number 6, Fast X, and that is just purely down to Momoa. He is incredible in that film. Like you could cut out the Dom stuff and everything like that, and just have like put me together a film of Momoa, and then some little bits of like Dom there, just to kind of push the story along, but make it more like Momoa centric, and it would be a much better film. It'd be a much better running time for one thing, but it would also be fantastic. And the stuff with John Cena and Babysitter Peacemaker is just incredible. Number 7 is Fast 9. It was there was some great sequences in it, but like with Joel, I'm kind of in the sort of like bit forgettable. Like I can remember they went to space, and I can remember that we got introduced to Peacemaker in this film. But again, it was very much like, the flashbacks were just all over the place and really annoying. Like it was just, yeah, it was not very well handled. Flashbacks are a tricky thing to do at the best of times. Sticking them in random places throughout the film really doesn't help. Then we got Fast and Furious, which is the 4th one. Again, it took itself way too seriously, but it does have that very last sort of chase sequence, not through the mountain, the sort of like the Mad Max moment, like across the desert. It's so well shot, and it's also got that really great the tanker moment in the opening as well, where they're stealing the tankers. That's a really great action sequence. But apart from that, it's taking itself too seriously. It's a revenge film as well, and revenge films, they can be good, but there's a fine line you have to like, Man on Fire, this was not, let's put it that way. Yes, I before you jump in, Brian, yes, this was not a film starring Denzel Washington, Academy Award winning actor doing a
No
very
shit.
good character, please. Coming at number 9 is The Fate of the Furious. Again, they jumped the sub in this one. There's a lot of cool moments, like the zombie car sequence is dumb as shit, but there's some really good like camera shots in that of like when the cars are going over the edge and like the camera is in the back of the car and going down. It's like very, very cool. Number 10, The Fast and the Furious. I did not enjoy watching this film at all. The very first one, it's super toxic. It's very questionable decisions made. And watching it now, I didn't enjoy it the first time I watched it, like back in the day, and like watching it now, it's just everything's like putting the stamp on of like, yeah, this is not enjoyable. And that's why Too Fast, Too Furious was much higher, because I actually enjoyed watching that one more. But yeah, for me, I don't have that nostalgia attached to it. Coming in at 11 is Resident Evil Retribution. Coming in at number 12 is Terminator Salvation. Coming in at number 13 is Friday the 13th Part 5. Number 14, we have Halloween 8. Number 15, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Number 16, we have the green Michael Myers blood version of Halloween 6. Number 17, we have Anchorman 2. And number 18, we have Being Kicked in the Nuts twice. Number 19, we have Stargate Origins. Read my Stargate article to find out what a pile of dog shit that is. And at number 20, we have Hobbs and Shaw.
For those of you that are keeping track, check out the Hobbs and Shaw's cold opening for that. Why this list matters.
Yep. So yes, out of 11 films, I had a list of 20.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, he said Hobbs and Shaw wasn't in 11th place. Where the
it wasn't.
That's why.
Dead last.
It's so bad he had to bring in other movies from different franchises.
And Being Kicked in the Nuts twice.
Oi, well, I'm gonna get going, but I did not add another movie, so Hobbs and Shaw has to sit sadly at number 11, where it deserves out of these movies. If I'm bringing other movies, yes, it would rank much lower. But that's not what we're doing. If you're paying attention to our list, you're gonna find that mine and Joel's is shockingly similar, but I'm gonna stick with it anyway. So my number 11, of course, is Hobbs and Shaw. I'm willing to let Ryan off the hook for making us watch it, though, because I do think his reasoning was right, and we should have included it from the beginning, now especially having seen it. So I'm willing to let him off the hook, but I'm still going to be mad at him.
That's okay. I'll take
still
it.
A bag of shit.
Yeah,
still a bag of shit.
Thanks.
I'm far more mad at the movie for existing than I am at Ryan for making me watch it. But that'd be my number 11. Number 10 is, of course, Fate of the Furious. I just think it's a bad fucking movie. Like there's just really no way around it. Like you can't put somebody like Charlize Theron in that level of a villainy role and then waste it and not be one of the worst movies of a franchise. Like she's just too good to just like it. Just they fucked up. It was just a really, really bad movie, and like it did not get better on any of my rewatches. So yeah, good news from 10 on, or I guess 9 on. These are all movies I'll watch again. Like the ranking still matters, of course, but these are still ones I'll turn on. Some of them might be more like I'm cleaning my house on a Sunday afternoon. I need something in the background movie. Some I'll actually sit down and watch. But either way, the rest of these I'm all turning on. I have to give that qualifier before I say that number 4 is next at number 9. Because I know originally number 4 was very high on my list. I can be persuaded. I've said this many times, and this show definitely persuaded me on what a pile of shit that movie is. I still enjoy the opening. I still enjoy everyone coming back, and it still had a fucking kick-ass trailer. So yeah, it's the worst of the movies that I'm willing to rewatch. And And right after that, with a lot of the similar sentiment, is number 9. I really like 9. I have a ton of fun watching 9. Like whenever I turn it on, I've turned it on a few times now. I'm like, this is a lot of fun. Like I think Justin Lin just is very good at making action movies of this caliber. But I don't remember any of it after I turn it off. Like I don't remember like why that big fucking semi bus thing is getting flipped in the poster. Don't remember why that's happening at all. And I just watched this thing a few weeks ago, and I've seen it like 5 times. It's just not a memorable movie, which is really too bad, because I think like the parts in it all work. It just doesn't ever congeal fully into like a really great movie. But it's still fun. Number 7 will be number 1. The first movie, way farther down my list than I thought it was going to be, but kind of like what Matt said, it's just that it's like the toxicity of the movie just, it really drags it down. And like even like the line that Joel brought up back in quotes, it's one of the best quotes in the movie, but you have to get past one of the most like toxic bullshit lines to get there. So like it's just, the movie's a lot of like give and take, and it's the balance has started to tip far more into take as I've gotten older and watching it. So I still love it. I still have a ton of fun watching it. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, but it's just not that great of a movie.
I think that's the problem with the nostalgia. You can watch a film and have that nostalgia thing attached to it and be like, I love this film, but know that it's a shit film. Like, I watched like Navy SEALs, the Charlie Sheen film. I know it's a shit film. I am very aware that it's a shit film, but I have the nostalgia attached
exactly
to it.
And that's kind of where I'm at with
the dumb
Fast
action
and
film I
Furious.
watched as a kid, and like, you know.
Yeah, this was the version of Point Break I wanted to watch when I was younger. So it's like, okay, whatever. Number 6 is X. I thought X was going to be down with like 8 and 4 looking at it. And I'm like, Momoa really does save this movie. And on top of Momoa, like Momoa saved the movie so much that we're not saying John Cena saves the movie. Because if it wasn't Momoa, we'd be saying John Cena saves the movie, because he's also incredible in this. We didn't even talk about him getting fucking bumped off in the episode we recorded about it, because we liked him so much, and we kind of forgot to mention that he sacrifices himself, really. Like we talked about it, but not really.
He'll come back. Giselle falls out of a plane and she walked it off.
Cena's not coming back. He has better things to do.
Yes. He is
the great thing, like
a fireball.
Yeah, because we didn't speak about that as well. Like that the sequence where he does sacrifice himself is actually, it's quite not beautifully done, but do you know what I mean? It's
well done.
It's well done. Like,
moment that has
like, oh no,
Like,
I genuinely care about that, and it's like, it's just mainly because it's like, oh, I like him. I like Peacemaker.
Yeah, and it worked. Number 5 for me is Too Fast, Too Furious. I think like middle of the pack is right where that movie belongs, because it's a ton of fun, but it's also not great, but it's also great. It's like, it just kind of, it's all over the place, and it just makes it that much more fun. And I can watch Paul Walker and Tyrese banter all day long, because they're so good together, and they don't really get a lot of time together throughout the rest of the franchise, because they pair them up with Tej so quick, because they're so great together. And that wasn't the wrong move, but I don't want to forget Brian and Roman, because they were so great together.
What is so good about that one as well is it brings us Roman and it brings us Tej as well.
Yeah.
So without that film, we don't have.
We see them meet for the first time, which is it's kind of cool, knowing how good of friends they become later. 4 is 7. It's a good movie. It's not as good as 3, 2, or 1, but it's a good movie. I got nothing else really to say. My only problem with 7, why it's not higher, is because, like I said when we recorded it, I kind of run out of steam with it. Like about 2/3 of the way in, I'm like, I could be done. Like the LA stuff is great, but if it wasn't here and I got to go home, I'm also not complaining. Like I'm full. I got it. So it's kind of a tough spot to be in. 3, never fucking thought Tokyo Drift would be this high up my list, but like Joel said, that movie takes a lot of shit and it's very undeserved. Like it's a solid movie. Sure, the lead guy isn't great. He's never really been great since he was a child actor, but he's good enough. He gets us through the movie. And then if you don't really want to pay attention to him, just pay attention to Han, who's great throughout the entire thing, and as one of the best villains. DK popped up on many of our lists. Like good movie. And then number 2 and 1 was just like, I have to go with my gut feeling, because like they're so close in my head. I go for the one that, like, which one do I enjoy beginning to end, and I like all the highs and lows throughout of it. That'll be number 1, whereas 5 gets number 2, just because the whole movie is good, but the whole movie is pretty standard heist movie. I've seen it. It just has the best ending out of any of them. Like the vault heist at the end is some of the best shit ever, but the rest of the movie is pretty boilerplate heist movie. So it might do it better than other ones, but it's still a heist movie. Whereas 6 is just a fucking party the whole way through, and it's just an awesome party to be invited to. So that's why 1 gets the very, very tiny edge. to 6. So it'd be 6, 5, 3, 7. I can scroll 2x 1 9 4 8. Fuck you, Hobbs and Shaw 11. And yeah. So I agreed with Joel on everything, but like
Fast and the Furious.
yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
And then I think we rank 7 a little differently, but otherwise, yeah, like we're
To be
almost in the-
fair, I think our like 6th, 5th, and 6th and 5th for us are the same place. And I'm actually reconsidering where I put Tokyo Drift. I think I may bump that to 3 and put Fast Furious 7 at 4. Because I think I kind of forgot all the stuff we've talked about in this one, where it's like, you know, Statham just pops up out of nowhere randomly.
Yeah.
And I think actually Tokyo Drift is better because of it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
But I've already made my rankings.
Yeah,
and,
you've already
you know,
gone. You didn't get the
it's-
luxury of being able to change numbers while people are talking like I
Exactly,
did.
it's set in stone. It's set in stone now. But I actually I agree with everything you said about like Tokyo Drift should be higher on my list, and I genuinely think it should be at number 3 because it's a really great film. It's
a good
probably one of the only ones that I will probably rewatch in full.
Yeah.
Like if I'd probably rewatch Fast 5 at some point, but I'm mostly going to just rewatch the Vault Chase from that.
Yeah.
Whereas Tokyo Drift, I will probably rewatch the whole film because it's actually like a solid film. And like in terms of like, if you take it outside the Fast and Furious film, just make it its own thing, it's still a solid film.
And that's why 6 got the edge to me, because I'll watch the Vault Heist, but will I watch the whole movie as much? Maybe not, but I'll watch all of 6. 6 I'll turn on for the whole thing because it's great the whole way through. But Ryan, got to finish this thing up.
So, you know, I could sit here and put, you know, Supercharged, which is the prequel to 2, and I could put Los Bandoleros, which is the Vin Diesel directed movie before 4. And then I could also put in, oh man, what was the other one? Better Luck Tomorrow, because it's all in the same universe. All of those movies would go before 4, and they're short films, except for Better Luck Tomorrow. Fuck 4. It is a horrible movie. I would say it's better than Hobbs and Shaw because at least it is Hobbs and Shaw. I get is Rock's vanity project. 4 is actually trying to take itself seriously and be a Fast Furious movie. Like,
so which one gets last place?
4.
God damn you.
I can't believe you feel that way when we have that sequence of Vin Diesel doing forensic science at a crash scene. Like,
I know.
How could you discount that?
Nothing.
I'd rather sit through that than The Rock in a fucking hula skirt or whatever the hell he's wearing.
This is what I'm going to say. Nothing in Fast and Furious, which is 4, because there's no "the" in there. Fucking stupid way to title a movie, is earned. Nothing in that movie is earned.
Nothing in Hobbs and Shaw's earned.
Hobbs and Shaw didn't learn its right to exist, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. I'm not done.
Yes, you are.
You
Kill
may
it.
be right.
I'm gonna mute him.
You,
You
What I will say
failed.
about- what I will say about Hobbs and Shaw is that at least it has Shaw. Jason Statham makes up for those things. The montage in the morning and him beating people with a champagne bottle is better than anything that Fast and Furious tried to do. There's nothing that is earned in that movie. It's the shortest movie. It is the least reviewed out of all of them. It is not a good movie. Period.
I'll take the shorter film over the 2.5 hour.
You're not going to change my mind.
Either way,
You're
so
not going to change my mind. The villain is better in Hobbs and Shaw.
I gave it the Fast 4. But either way, is number 10 Hobbs and Shaw at least?
Yes.
Fucking
Okay.
But yes, 10 is Hobbs and Shaw. It's Hobbs and Shaw it's not a good movie. Thank you guys for watching it. I think it's part of the universe. But to me, 4, it's just I can't justify, like, there's nothing good in 4. There's nothing good in 4. No, I can't think of a good thing. I literally cannot. The CGI is so bad. Huh? Okay, that may be the case, but I think of that final scene in the tunnels, and it's just there's nothing that is earned in this movie, and it gives us Giselle, thank you, but she's better in 5 and 6. You
4
know,
also has the line of you hit your head pretty hard. That one line is
Yeah.
better than fucking anything in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yep.
This is what I'm gonna say about Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, it is not a good movie. It is The Rock's vanity project. However, there are sequences in that movie at the start that are worth it. Then the movie falls apart at the end. I will tell you that, and I've said that on probably on the show. You know, with the cars being linked together and things like that. I just can't. I can see past that for the beginning part of the movie. There is nothing that is earned in this movie in part 4 that makes sense to me. I'm going to stand on that bridge and I'll die on it. So moving on. But in reality, I would definitely put the 2 prequels in between Hobbs and Shaw and 4, and Better Luck Tomorrow would be up by Tokyo Drift. But anyway, I digress. 9 is Fast 9. I agree with the flashbacks. It's very disjointed. A lot of the things don't work. They definitely tried to go with the trope of trying to find younger actors to play, and that's not what these movies are about. You know, Fast X did the better flashback than Fast 9 because they only did it one time. So there's that. Fate of the
I thought you meant
Furious.
the younger crew members at first. I was thinking, what, 40-year-old Sean?
Right. So Fate of the Furious, I think you're 100% right. It jumped the sub. It lacked for no Paul Walker. It was trying to overcompensate with a lot of things that just didn't work out. Next is, number 7 is Fast X. Dante is the only reason why that movie is as high as it is, period, end of sentence. Too Fast, Too Furious is number 6. The reason why that is because, you know, it gives us Roman. It really starts to build the crew aspects, and it's got a very good villain, you know, and then you have Ava Mendes as the eye candy, and she comes back in later movies. This is where we really start to go back to when they start to make things relevant in, when they start making family worth a thing in 5, 6, and 7. The only thing that is relevant in part 4 is that Letty's alive and Braga. That's it. Whereas other movies, you're pulling different things out as well. Tell me I'm wrong. No, when other shit movies have more things that they can pull in than just a bad guy and Letty's alive. So for even the filmmakers didn't want to come back.
We're not on 4 anymore. Move on.
Okay, so there's 6. Okay, top 5. 5 is Fast and Furious, just because the very first one, because without that, we would not have this series. I know that the first one is flawed, but without the first one and building that bond, you would not have the rest of the series. 4 is Tokyo Drift. This is the Season of the Witch type of one. They tried to go in a different direction. You know, it's not necessarily a good movie, but in the world of Fast and Furious, it is a very good movie. I would also link that up with the prequel of Better Luck Tomorrow, where we get the character of Han and his womanizing, chain smoking, and then we see that it is good. But Tokyo Drift is number 4, and I think it's a movie that does not get the credit it deserves. Top 3 are 7, 6, 5. So 7 at number 3. Rightly so. It's definitely a movie that's jam-packed with a lot of action, and I said that at the very end with all the things that are happening. It is Paul Walker's last movie, but it's just it's trying to do so many things, but the action is there. Again, these top 3 movies do not deserve to be so high as they are in terms of quality. But 6, you've got a great villain and everything, and you really start to see the connections with the other movie, and it's just such a good guy versus bad guy story, I'm going to say, in 6. And last but not least, 5, when you have 3 movies in between, all of these movies were rotten, all of them, 4 being the lowest Rotten Tomato score.
We did it.
But to bounce back the way that they did and actually make the stakes higher and have such a good payoff at the end, you know, you wouldn't expect that from a Fast and Furious. You wouldn't pull the rope-a-dope, you know, like we do with the vault with the garbage, the garbage collecting, whatever it's called, the garbage truck. Bro. Jesus Christ. But yeah, everything about that is just very good. I know that my having number 4 would be at the bottom, but man, I don't think you can argue how good 5, 6, and 7 are, and I'll leave it at that.
I mean, like, compare it to the last series that we covered that had a 5, 6, and a 7. Halloween.
Yeah.
Like
They were trash.
they were awful films.
Yes.
They were very
we
low on
like
the
7. 7's H2O.
No,
seven's
seven
good.
was good,
Mediocre.
but mainly 5 and 6 though. Like
Yeah.
you look at 5 and 6 in that franchise, and compared
7
it to
was
like
a good idea. Terrible execution.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
remember us being pretty positive on H2O. Like even though like it wasn't great, but we liked it. Whereas like this one, like Furious 7's is a solid movie. Like it's not.
yeah,
I think 5 and
It's-
6 are better, but it's still a very solid movie.
a solid movie. It's just again, it's got too much in it.
So I was keeping track as we were going through all of our lists. We didn't agree on a single ranking. Some of us agreed. We got the closest on 3, 2, 1. Whereas both Joel and I ranked number 3, and possibly Matt, if he redid his schedule, 3 at 3. And then he and I both did 5 at 2 and 6 at 1. You guys both did 6 at 2 and 5 at 1.
Yeah.
And you both had 7 at 3, which I had at 4 and Joel had at 5. Otherwise,
Kind
the
of
only
crazy that like the top 3 were not the same for everyone, but literally 50-50.
9 was really close. It was either 9, 8, or 7 for everybody. Matt had it the highest at 9. Joel and I had it both at 8, and then Ryan had 9 at 9. And then X, I think, was the closest. X and 2 were the closest in agreement on everybody. X was either 7 or 6, and 2 was either 6 or 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All kind of tracks. But it's interesting when we do these rankings. Like, for how much we argue every episode, we end up usually agreeing.
I think what's quite like you could put all that into some sort of like spreadsheet thing as well, and there'd be some way of working out like an overall ranking or something.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
we
think-
could. That would just take more effort than I'm willing to put in.
Oh yeah, I'm not suggesting we do that.
Yeah, we
You
would
know,
all
like-
agree on Hobbs and Shaw if Ryan wasn't fucking so hard against poor movie number 4.
I mean, my Hobbs and Shaw was at number 20 on my list.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
only 11 films.
At least
so-
there's action in Hobbs and Shaw.
There's action in 4.
Yeah,
When-
yeah, and it's better directed action in 4.
it's definitely
Bullshit.
better directed. Definitely
Bullshit.
better directed action.
Bullshit.
Either way, I really enjoyed doing this Fast and Furious franchise. This was a good one. Am I wrong? Like this is a
No.
fun one.
No, I mean,
No,
it was
it
a
was
very
Yeah.
it was a good call. I mean,
Yeah.
it took us a couple of years to actually get there to do it because of
You?
conversations we had where you're like, I don't know if I want to do it if you're going to be that negative.
Because of Matt. This took so long to get here because of Matt. But
Yeah, well,
then we
fuck
brought
you.
on Ryan, and I had more weight on my side to actually like fight for it. So it's all been a long con to get.
And I
Matt to do it.
changed your opinion on 4. So
And he changed my opinion on 4.
Not
Oh, yeah.
that much though, because you didn't change it to the point where you think it's that
The-
Hobbs and Shaw is
And that's
better.
fine. That's fine. I'm
No,
not saying
it just-
Hobbs and Shaw is a Oscar worthy movie like Fast 8 is.
Hobbs and Shaw makes Fast 8 an Oscar winning.
It does.
It
It really does.
Oof, some bad movies. But yeah, either way, I think this is a really fun one. And I like because we did have a roller coaster of quality, and this time it wasn't related to horror, which has been every other time we've done these. This one had it's a little bit different of a roller coaster where they're good in the middle somehow. I'm really
More like
glad
an
we
actual
did this.
roller coaster.
We'll see our next binge is. I mean, I think that all 4 of them are quality films. Now, do I think the second one is definitely lacking? Yes, because I think they have a nutshell that they have to fit in. But man,
So-
3 and 4 are so good.
So I want to do my brief experience with John Wick. I saw the first one and went, "This is great. I don't need any more John Wick." So, so it'll be
I kinda
interesting.
did this. I did the same thing, and then I went to 2 just because it was out, and I'm like, all right, I might as well go to 2. And by the end of 2, I'm like, I'm done. Like this is too much. When he's doing like the walk through Central Park, and everyone's like, "Is he gonna kill him? Is he gonna kill him?" I'm like, I get.
Honestly,
what they're
I
doing.
can justify that. I can
I know
actually
everyone.
justify that.
So many people have justified it to me, and I still say it was shot poorly and it ruined the end of the movie. On top of
Mhm.
already a pretty movie, so I was very, very out by the end of 2. So I'm excited to give it another shot. I have not watched it again since theaters, so I owe the movie another watch. Maybe I'll like it more this time. But yeah, so we're coming up with. Where do we land on the title? Is it Bullets to Beagles? Beagles to Bullets?
Are we
I think Beagles to Bullets makes more sense
Beagles to
given the
Bullets?
context.
Beagles
Yeah.
to
Bullets
Bullets
to
and the Baba
Beagles
Yaga?
also makes a lot of sense because Ryan's just showing off his collection. I bought mine digitally like a fool.
We're doing this.
I still think we should put Baba Yaga in there just because he is the Baba Yaga.
I mean, that's fair, but
It
You
is.
already got your
I like
pull with
I like
Hot
Beagles
Shot.
to bullets. Beagles to bullets.
Beagles to bullets.
I have that, but then this is when the really good stuff comes in. Steelbook,
I'm
Oh,
a big Steelbook fan.
I like
4K.
steelbooks,
They're all
yes.
4K these, by the way.
Oh, of course.
And then
they are.
another Steelbook. But what is great about this one?
Is the reflection of your computer screen so we can barely see it. That is pretty cool.
But what I also have, because
Great for a visual medium, by the way.
yeah, this is
Or
great
for an
visual
audio
medium.
medium.
You can,
You
you
know,
can cut
All is
you can cut this all out. But I also have. It's an airsoft version, by the way. But that is the Pit Viper from 4.
You know,
And it's very nice.
it's
not-
looking.
It's an airsoft version because I can't buy a real gun in this country, and B, I can't afford $8,000 on a gun.
That's fair.
I'm gonna stand behind you and just when we get to 2, I can't wait to because I can't stand Ruby Rose. Like
No,
in
me neither.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
no,
a-
she's-
there's a
She's
lot
not good
too
in
I
it.
don't like, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And I haven't seen 3 or 4, so this is the most blind I've ever been going into a Binge Buddy season. So I'm very excited for that.
I think like 2 is a better film when you've seen the rest of it.
Yeah.
I think it kind of makes sense as to like where they start pushing the world a bit more, and then it's fleshed out more in 3 and 4, and it is better.
Okay.
Because I like the storming of the Continental. That was one of my favorite sequences.
It's
But
very good.
Get into that when we get into the show.
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
to that next. So
One of my favorite sequences in the whole series, though, is actually in
Fuck!
2.
I opened the door for Matt. He's
you
going.
did. Don't
but
get him going. He won't stop.
Very
Here, I
quickly,
can
very
mute him.
quick.
Hold
One
on,
of
I
my
can mute him.
favorites. One of my favorites.
And there he goes. Great. And
So sorry, Matt. I don't know if he's trying to shoot me or Brian.
I gotta ask him to unmute and see if that works. But I'm just so glad that worked. I've been wanting to mute somebody since like the dawn of this show.
Trying to shoot both of you. You both deserve a bullet.
All right, so we got to say our farewells to Fast and Furious, and be sure to tune in next when we talk John Wick, and then when we talk the next franchise after that, because we have it planned. I'm not going to say it here, but I just can't believe that we have another one already planned, and then I already have the one after that I want to do.
I'm going to say, but potentially a third. You haven't told us, but you said
No, I
that
haven't
you
told
have
you
the
guys
third
what the
one.
next one is, but yeah, I've got like a whole bunch of shows lined up, which is new for Binge Buddy, so we're prepared. Not our style, so we're going to see.
I'm going to say this is weird. I don't like this.
I even sent out a worksheet for today's episode. Like, I didn't just send out like a Facebook message, just like make a list.
I didn't use it.
Fuck
did.
you, Ryan. That's,
I did. I used the oh fuck, what do you call them? The materials, the revision
provided materials.
Provided materials. Thank
There you
you.
go,
That's
yeah.
the
The study
that's-
notes.
I use the provided materials. You can
Thank
cut
you,
all
Matt.
me stumbling before out. I know
I'm-
you won't, but I'm gonna.
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna say it there, and then you can leave it. Me asking you to cut it out in here. We're getting real meta here.
Yeah, and leave myself refusing, and that's great. But I'm done spinning my wheels. I think we've done it. We don't usually do plugs in the wrap-up episode, so I'm gonna skip those again, unless anybody has something very important they need to plug. No,
What plugs?
great. Not like usual.
My family misses me.
That's a very important plug, and I think mine does too.
I have no family.
So tune in next week. We might take a break off. We usually do a week off in between series. I'm not sure if we're going to this time. We're gonna figure it out. But yeah, John Wick next. Bullets to beagles.
Beagles to bullets.
Beagles to bullets. Beagles to bullets makes more sense, but bullets to beagles makes me think like a bullet is going in the beagle, which that's where my head goes because that's what
We may lose viewers. We may lose listeners.
Either way, I'm gonna fuck up the title every week. Either way, so fuck it
Until the rank.
until the rank, and then I'll nail it. All right, thank you everyone so much for listening. We'll see you soon, I guess. I can't talk to you today. Bye.
Bye.